Long way up, so you go for a ride. I said everybody wants a happy day. They don't want to do nothing, but they still get paid. So you ride a little further and it starts to change. You figured everything was gonna be the same. I said,
you guys have been playing music a long time, and you could even say, you know, you put Face to Face on the shelf, and now you're back. What was part of coming back? What was the big decision?
The guarantees finally got so high that, you know, we were going to make loads of money, so we really just couldn't say no anymore. No, it's not. I mean, basically, we were away from the band for about 4.5 years or so, and the idea behind breaking the band up was so that we could pursue other projects that we wanted to do, and we got the opportunity to do that. And once we got that out of our system, so to speak, there was still a void left that couldn't really be filled by anything but more cowbell. So we had to put Face to Face back together to get the cowbell back. No, I'm kidding. We really missed Face to Face. I mean, there was no substitute for it. None of the side projects or solo records or any of that stuff really gave the same satisfaction as what, you know, Scott and I and Chad have in this band. And we found Danny 3 years ago, and he's fit right in like a glove, and he's a super cool dude, and just totally worked in the band. So we have a good thing going, and initially it was going to be incremental, and we were just going to do a show or two, and then maybe a few shows, and I turned into a tour, and more tours, and a Warped Tour, and a record, and now we're on this. But we're trying not to think too much about what we do. We're just enjoying the ride and having fun, and trying to make it last.
Do the fans play a big part in keeping you guys going, or is it more music and friendship as a group of guys?
Well, without the music and the friendship, we wouldn't really have much of a drive to want to do it. But the truth is that the fans are all of it, because if you book shows and fans don't show up to the shows, you've got no career. You know, you're basically in your garage. So yeah, we've had amazing support. This is the 20th year of us as a band this year, and we have loyal followers that have been buying our records and buying our tickets for 20 years straight, some of them.
You spoke of side projects earlier. I know you were involved with Legion of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved Legion of Doom. I remember when it first hit,
cool. And
the mixes, you know, I was like, are you going to put this on CD? Is it coming? Just tell me a little bit about that project.
Well, I was more than involved. The Legion is only 2 of us. So it was me and Chad Blinman, who has been a long-time partner and collaborator with Face to Face. He mixed our first record back on, we put out the live record in '97, and mixed and produced and recorded every record since then up until this last one. So when Face to Face went on hiatus or broke up or whatever, I got together with Chad, and I knew I wanted to do a solo record, but I had another idea to kind of mash up and do electronic versions and remixes of a bunch of the other stuff that was going on at the time, other newer bands and stuff that I liked. So he thought it was crazy at first, and then we listened to some examples, and we just jumped in and tried to start putting some stuff together, and it immediately was like a little work, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun, and it just kind of, once we got started, we couldn't stop till we got, you know, like 13 or 14 songs done.
I found with punk rock through the years, punk rock has been a lot of anti-religion and anti-Jesus, really a lot of anti-Christianity. Mm-hmm. What's your perception of Jesus?
I'm an atheist, so I don't really subscribe to any religion. But we don't really speak of religion or that sort of thing in our music, and I think that a lot of, from a lyrical standpoint, my religious viewpoints have changed over the past 20 years. But even when I was a believer, I didn't really write about God, stuff like that anyway. So,
hi, I'm Scott Shiflett. I am also an atheist, although I would rather not have a label for my beliefs. But the bottom line is, everybody holds some sort of interesting belief system. The most important thing is, are you a good-natured person that intends people good, or do you intend people bad? coupled with whatever your belief system might be. And then, are you going to punch me in the face? Because I really don't want that. And that's actually more important to me than what your belief systems are, whether you're this side or the other.
The term atheist has gotten a very negative connotation, and I know there's a lot of people that write, and speak on the matter. And the term atheist itself suggests that that being a theist is the norm. So, because when you put the prefix "a" in front of something, it means the opposite. So to be an atheist means to be the opposite of a theist, which means to be the opposite of a believer. So the whole language kind of puts something out there that being a believer is a normal thing, which I think is also kind of flawed logic, and there really is no faith involved, and that really is the basis of how I came to feel the way that I do about the entire thing, which is that I'm not really a person of faith in general. I guess that's maybe an easier way of summing it up. Well, I will tell you this, and I don't want to come off like one of those people who are haters, and I do actually resent people who are self-professed atheists or whatever the terminology is used for that. I don't like what is associated with atheism, which comes off a lot as elitism, or people assuming or projecting out there that it's more intelligent to be an atheist, and being a believer is only for people that aren't as intelligent. I do resent that, and I don't think that's a fair thing. Going back to what you said earlier, I believe that everyone has a right to believe in what they want, and they really shouldn't be I won't say judged, because we tend to judge others in society based on everything from the clothes you wear, your hair, whatever.
We do a lot.
So we're constantly judging, but I certainly don't think anyone should be discriminated or chastised for whatever their beliefs happen to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Or lack thereof.
Completely with you, and I think that's why I always say to people, you have a right to choose what you believe, and find what you're comfortable with what you believe, and you don't need to convince another person that what you believe is right. Search out for what you believe. That's what it's about,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a personal journey that one must take.
With kids today, there's a lot of bad music out there coming out. How do you get kids who don't know about face to face to enjoy it these days?
Well, bad is music is subjective, the like or dislike of it, and there's a ton of music out there that I don't like, a lot of new music coming from a lot of the younger bands, but there's also quite a bit of good stuff too. We were just out on last year's Warped Tour, and kind of a newer, younger band, Flatfoot 56, I think, was super cool. We have the Darlings out with us on this tour as a newer, younger band, and I think they're great. So it's not to say that all of the new, young music sucks, but or that I don't like it. And I wouldn't expect it for everyone to like Face to Face either. But I would say that a good thing I've seen on this particular tour, we're on a pretty long headline tour here, about 70 shows. And I expected to see more of the audience, percentage-wise, to be older, 30 and up. And I'm seeing a really, really strong amount of people out there who are younger, in their 20s and maybe even a little younger. So, word spreads. If something works and if something's good, people tell other people. Older brothers tell younger brothers, and parents tell kids, and it trickles down. So I think if it's good, it stands on its own. If it's good or bad, like I said, is subjective. If it's something that's going to be popular or ring true with people or make a connection, which I think we've been lucky enough to do as a band, then hopefully you can bridge some generations.
Yeah, like Lagwagon said, I think my older brother used to listen to Lagwagon.
Right.
Trevor, thank you so much.
Okay, man.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Not when you